So, voices in our head, we have our higher self, which is forgiveness, empathy, the observer, compassion. Then we have the lower self, which they call the smaller I. I can't do this. I'm a piece of shit. I don't deserve happiness. That's the smaller I. Then there's the ego. What about me? Now, we hear the voice in our head, and we'll just listen to it. We don't become aware of it. We don't say to ourselves, being like, wow, that's the ego talking. See, with this awareness, when you realize when your ego's talking to you, don't fight the ego. Just know when it's speaking. See, when I was going to school, when I was taking the addictions counseling course, there was a couple people in my class that they're always like, well, I'm afraid to speak, because we always had to do presentations. I don't like speaking, this and that. I was like, well, because you're afraid, right? They're like, yeah. I was like, well, it's fear that's holding you back. So I was like, when I stand up and talk to the class, I know that I'm going to make mistakes. I know it's not going to go perfect, but I have a message to deliver, and that's my focus. Because I was like, it's your ego that's out of control, that's creating that fear for you to sit down. Totally offended them, wrote a letter to the director of the school trying to get me kicked out of class just for that opinion. And so after all that went through, I'm driving home and I'm like, those bitches trying to get me out of school because why? They're all fearful, and this and that. Why can't they be more like me? You know what I'm saying? This and that. And I'm like, okay, ego, that's you. Empathy, it's your turn. What do you have to say? Well, Jeff, they're angry and they don't know how to show it. And all anger is a call for help. So they don't know how to express it. So they have to go into the dark corners to take down somebody because of their anger, not because of their love, because they're not feeling it themselves. And then my ego crops out being like, well, they're still bitches. But I forgave them. It really, because I had to sit beside them and not say a word, it took me probably about a week because they'd speak and I'd be like, and I'd be like, okay, empathy, your turn. And eventually empathy just won and I forgave them. And near the end of school, we talked and just worked it out. But if my ego was in control the whole time, I would have got my lawyer involved. I would have got them kicked out of school for bullying because they're all ganging up on me. It literally was a form of bullying. And they're trying to sign the letter anonymously. It was quite amusing. But my ego wanted to sue the school, to get them kicked out until I was done school. Like, it was just, I needed revenge. Because they hurt me. And they needed to pay for hurting me. But all they were doing was projecting their own pain. And empathy allowed me to do that. And when you empathize, you just forgive it. Because you start to realize when you empathize, you start to feel good. And when you forgive, it feels even better. But if you just keep running the ego, you are just running pain and stress through your body. You're creating fantasies in your head and feeling them in your body. Creating fantasies about the future, but feeling it right now. And if you don't stop, if you don't become aware of it, it's always playing. So these people would literally have to give me an apology, a very sincere apology, for me to forgive them. For me to feel at peace. How insane is that?